Make a brew, he said. Make yourself at home. Nothing was a problem. Richard was a star young amateur, lifting an ABA title amongst many medals. But it was when he turned pro in 1997 that the show really began. Trainer Billy Graham told us he was the most talented youngster he'd ever seen, and promoter Frank Warren was then to guide him expertly to major honours. There was Billy's infamous body belt, along with Bobby Rimmer, Kerry Kays, Mick Williamson, Paul Speak, of course, and a support from a cast of fellow fighters, Stephen Bell, Paul Smith, Matt Macklin, and many others, including, of course, his own brother Matthew. Even Jamie Moore and Anthony Farnell always seemed to be near, both United fans and largely in other gyms, but they all loved Ricky. Frank and Sky were there from his debut in Widnes, and I remember him driving me around a few weeks later in an old banger. I asked him if he thought he would ever change when success came. He said, "Adam, whatever belts I win, just take them all off me if people think I'm too big for my boots." Ricky was at his happiest playing darts down the local with his mates like the Duck. It was his love of a pint and a fry-up which meant the nation fell head over heels. His popularity simply eclipsed everything, most notably when more than 30,000 descended on Vegas for that huge clash with Floyd Mayweather, before we even had social media. The Hitman's mix of technical ability, aggression, and lethal body shots lit up boxing. Yes, he could get badly cut, like in his British title win against Jonathan Thaxton, but this just added to the appeal, and he got out of trouble with those venomous attacks, which meant increasing crowds and huge events. Ricky turned the Manchester Arena behind us into his fortress, and he united this city. Which other Blue could have had Wayne Rooney carrying the belts? Liam and Noel did. Half of Corrie wanted to. Half of Manchester, you, me, we all craved being ringside, and for that night after. Ricky also inspired generations to come. I've seen them both here today. Anthony Croller, Dalton Smith, and others watched as kids high in the stands on Hatton fight nights. And we all remember the early hours of June the 5th, 2005, when Ricky dethroned Kostya Tszyu, forcing the pound-for-pound king to retire after 11 pulsating rounds and lifting the world light welterweight title, etched in fighting folklore forever. Rick promised me he'd be at my wedding the week later, and with Tenerife parties planned, I had my doubts. But of course he was there, and I'm sure many of you will have similar personal moments and memories looking through all the unprecedented outpouring of love. An American venture against Luis Collazo gave Ricky world titles in 2 weights, and after that stunning KO of Jose Luis Castillo, the Hitman was unbeaten in 43 when he met Mayweather in a fight for the ages. The build-up was insane. The fans drunk Vegas dry, but the defeat rained hard on Ricky. Rick felt he'd let you all down, and that breaks my heart, because he was an incredible fighter who won 45 times with 32 knockouts on some of the biggest stages. Ricky took the defeats to Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao hard, and he was open about his mental health struggles. It's brilliant to see the Ricky Hatton Foundation launched this week. He became a promoter, a trainer, and a sensational after-dinner speaker. Rick was so generous in giving of his time to family, to friends, support to charity, and guiding young fighters, particularly his own son Campbell. And it is Campbell we think of. Jennifer's beloved daughters Millie and Fern, granddaughter Lila, all the family, Carol, Ray, Matthew, Jenna, Jack, I know, all of everyone's family. We stand by you all today, all of us, and going forwards. Ricky Hatton's memory and legacy will live on through each of us. A warrior and a legend. And no, my friend, you never changed, and that's rare. Ricky was always Ricky, relatable and liked by anyone and everyone, the people's champion. I will forever love him, his fights, his friendship, his fun, his adoration of life. We all will. What a ride it was. There is and only ever will be one Ricky Hatton.
I read this poem today on behalf of all of the family.